Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your Destiny Dad, and welcome back to our weekly XUR review. We're here on week 2 of Destiny 2 Heresy, and we're gonna go and see what our lovely buddy XUR has to offer us this week. Let's see. Alright, he does have class items for the week. For our catalysts, he's got Crimson Catalyst, which is pretty decent, and the Bad Juju Catalyst, which is also very decent. Was the Catalyst for Crimson what allowed it to heal, or was this just a stat bump? This was one of the earlier Catalysts, and they used to just basically be stat bumps. Young Ahamkar's Spine with Resilience and Discipline. It could be better, but if you don't have a good roll of this already, definitely pick this up. Very good in PvP, very decent in PvE. I see less use in PvE, but it's not a no use scenario here. Armamentarium for the Titans, we've got Recov, Discipline, and Strength. Decent build. I really like this depending on what's going on, and depending on the meta, this can be very useful. I know a lot of people like to use this one in PvP, actually, especially with the scatter nades on Void. For the Warlock, we have Karnstein Armlets. I like these. I don't know that they're good, but they're fun. It's decent amount of resilience and strength. A little more mobility than I would like, but it is a 66 overall, and if you need some stat bumps for a Karnstein build and you just don't have a good roll, that's gonna do it for you. Let's see what we have for more strange offers. Same as usual. I think this rotates, and this week it's just legendary engrams, which means just world drops. But we got glimmer, cores, shards, and gifts. And now for our strange gear offerings, we have Hawk Moon. This one's a little bit rangier than last week, and Eye of the Storm is not bad actually. I'm trying to think. I don't think this had like a ton of selection of magazines. I think this might have been one of the better ones actually. Sweet Business has been seeing some play in PvP, but mostly with like cheeser builds and groups of 6 people running it. I think it's fun and quirky to be goofy with, but I think it's annoying to try and make it actually good. Skyburners is decent. It's very niche, but since I believe the Catalyst gives it incandescent, or did they? No, they baked incandescent into it. Okay, since it can scorch, it's very, very good. And of course, the Queenbreaker, the new current meta for this season. If you don't have this already, grab this, run some strikes, run some PvP matches, do anything, get the Catalyst. This thing cooks. On to legendary weapons for the week, we have Nature of the Beast with Hipfire and Vorpal. Attack mag is decent. Sights are okay. I would pass on this personally, purely for this. There are much better rolls this thing can get. I think it can get Firefly. I want to say it can get Rapid Hit. But there's much better arcane cannons currently, and there's much better rolls for that one. All-rounded headstone. It's actually not terrible for PvE SMG. It's a 720, which is decent. This is the Rapacious Appetite. This is also one of those craftable weapons that he tends to bring us now. This was from the Season of the Deep, I believe it was, and yeah, that origin trade was decent. Overall, this is actually a really banger roll. So if you want to grab a few of these to be able to craft, or if you just are satisfied with this roll and you want to grab this, go right ahead. Next up we have 7th Seraph Sidearm. I love the Seraph weapons, I already have talked about them before. And the sidearm especially. The sidearm just struggles a little bit with the rolls. I think the best one that I've managed is Demo and Dragonfly, which is decent, and was one of the better Void sidearms until this past season when we got Insurmountable. That had, what is the one? I think it had Demo and Destave on it, so. This one sadly is not the greatest, and on this roll field prep snapshot, I think for me personally, I would pass. Chrysura Mellow. Another one of these weapons from this season. They all looked so cool. They all had such a cool theme. And just most of them didn't really have many good rolls for some reason. I don't know. I guess there's a play that you could make for this if you really want a high impact solar auto rifle. Dragonfly's good. Dragonfly's slept on now because it's not Firefly and because it's not a damage perk. I think it can still be useful. I still have some weapons with Dragonfly on it. I still like Dragonfly. And if you are looking for an ad clearing PvE auto rifle, go right ahead. This will not hurt you, although Encore is considered more of a PvP perk, but even then it doesn't see much use. Overall, I guess it's not terrible. It's just Encore is not what you really want to see there. Corsair's Wrath, no distractions, quick draw. If you are one of the freaks who likes to use linears in PvP, I would grab this. Good handling, good flinch resist, and this is a decent precision. This is actually one of my favorite precisions for a long time until it just became bad. Alright, we have Just In Case, I believe. No, this is not craftable. This was the set of weapons that was the same season as the season of the Wish stuff. But this was the reprised Gambit weapons, right? Yeah. Swordmaster. That's actually a decent roll. That's not like a 5 out of 5, but Unrelenting is good. Incandescent is good. Swordmaster is the best guard. Doesn't have Jagged, but you do have Tempered Edge, which will do you good. If you were looking for a good ad clear sword, this will do it actually. I actually really like this sword. I've used it in a build or two of mine over time. I don't use it currently, but it is fun. Alrighty, we have Crown Splitter. We have the class specific swords once again this week. This time on Crown Splitter, we've got, let's see, we do have Jagged Edge, we've got the Heavy Guard, Tireless, and Whirlwind. Once again, this is not perfect, but like I said last week, all of the options in both of these columns are good for the most part. So if you don't have it, or if you just like how this roll looks, go for it. Now for the armor on your Titan, we're gonna have some 65 gloves, high mobility, high intellect. You make that work. If you need more intellect to rebuild, run them 65 base stat, not bad. 67 base stat, chest plate, high recov, high discipline, high strength. Actually, I think I might, oh well no, I had a build that I was working on with 100 discipline and 100 strength on Void, but I was using, oh god, what's the chest piece? The one that makes everything explode. You know the one, the exotic chest piece. So I don't think I can actually put this in here. However, that's a really good chest piece. I'm gonna grab that. Up next we have a helmet with 64, 15, 15, 15, 15. Jesus, that's some good spikes. Yeah, once again, I'm gonna check my dim inventory before I get this one, because I think I might have something similar. But get some of the armor this week, Jesus. And then we got some legs with high discipline, 63 base stat. That is your Xur for the week. I'm going to hop on to my good old Hunter and good old Warlock, and we will see what Xur has for them this week. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back at XUR, this time on our hunter. Let's check out what our class sword looks like, as well as the armor that he has for us. Of course, you will have your class item based on the class you are currently on. Quick Fang, we have Relentless Strikes, Flash Counter, Swordmaster, Jagged. That's actually decent. What does Flash Counter do again? Blocking after raising your guard amidst a short. You know, after the Flash Counter buff, there's maybe a play for this. If we ever get another season where swords are overloads or swords are some sort of anti-champion mod, stunning, like blocking, disorienting, stunning, and then going in with Relentless Strikes, even if you don't necessarily have a damage increase on this, that will be really solid actually. Let me actually look and see what my Quick Fang is. Know that I don't have a good one. My computer is not being super fantastic today. Actually, I have Jagged Edge and Assassin's Blade. I might pick this one up just for the sake of trying out Flash Counter. Alright, for your armor hunters this week, you've got gloves with a base stat of 65 and 23 recovery. Those are actually pretty banger. I like to have... I'm just going for like a basic default triple 100 build. I'm almost always either doing resilience, recovery, mobility. There's almost always going to be two of those as my 100 stat. My Titan and Warlock tend to be 100 resilience, 100 recovery. My hunter tends to be 100 mobility, 100 resilience. If I can, I will do 100 recov as well, or like 70 recov, like a triple 100 stat and then 70 in recov. Just because recov, like, it's really good to have recovery. People talk down on recov a lot, but it's really strong, so give it a whirl. Up next, we have a base stat 61 chest piece, decent resilience, high intellect, and high strength. Overall, I think this is a little on the low side, but if you're going for a melee super build, maybe you're doing a Shards of Galanor or something like that, you want 100 resilience, 100 intellect, 100 strength, this could fit into your build. Next we have the helmet with a 67, high resilience, high recov, decent discipline, and high intellect. That's really solid, but I would like to see more mobility on it. I would definitely recommend, if you are a new player, if you're a returning player, or if you're just someone who hasn't farmed or targeted armor in any capacity, go for this helmet. It'll be good for you. And 65 base stat, legs with resilience, recov, discipline, intellect. Yeah, that's... You could probably get the legs, helmet, and arms and be on your way to a pretty decent hunter build. For general play. Alrighty, let's head on over to our third and final character, our friendly Warlock. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at XUR on our Warlock. Let's see what he's got for us. Once again, he's going to have the Warlock class item if you're on your Warlock. The Eternity's Edge with Tireless Blade Surrounded. That is actually really close to being good. Tireless Blade isn't quite Relentless Strikes, but Surrounded is 100% the best perk. Sword Guard is guaranteed. Jagged Edge is the best blade. I think I will be picking this up myself because I don't have a good one. For your armor, you have a base stat of 63 gloves with high recov and high discipline. A little bit higher mobility than I would like to see for what these stats are. But if this works for maybe a grenade build for you, go ahead and grab those. Base 64 stats, ooh, those are really even. I know everybody jumps up and down about spikes, but for me personally, I really do enjoy something that just has even stats across the board. It's very nice to just be able to have general pieces of armor that look like this, so that they're high stat across the board and you can kind of flex these into a build. So maybe if you're going for 100 mobility for some reason on Warlock, this might be the piece that helps you boost over that while also keeping your other stats good as well. For your helmet, you get a base stat of 63 with good resilience and intellect. Secondarily, you have decent recov and discipline. It's a little low on the base stat overall for me. That being said, I'm kind of picky about my armor, and once again, I have 19,000 hours in this game. I don't think I currently have more than like 2 or 3 pieces of armor that are like sub 67 in my vault. And I've got a lot of stuff in my vault. So, that being said, you should probably pick this up if you want a decent build for maybe a solar warlock. You want your high super uptime, decent resilience, whether you're doing well or Song of Flame. This will probably be a pretty decent helmet for you. Lastly, you have a base stat 62 pair of legs, high recov, high intellect. Once again, overall stat is pretty rough, but for what this is, I think that this will serve you pretty well. So, with all that being said, I think that will be all for today. I think that XUR has had a decent selection, and I do hope that the length of this video would be a little bit better than it was last week. I know it was a little bit rough last week, and I apologize. I'm still getting into the swing of things, still figuring stuff out a little bit. Again, it's been a minute since I've done anything like this, but I really appreciate all the love that you guys have been giving me so far. And I've been enjoying doing this again. So, XUR actually has a pretty decent inventory this week, in my opinion. If you need to craft some of the things that he has, pick them up. If you need some of the good statted armor that he has, pick them up. You never know what he's gonna have, and that's kind of the whole draw. And obviously with the ease of farming strange coins right now, run up some class items. Make sure you go to the Pale Heart, you focus how you want to focus them, and then try and fill out your builds. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you enjoyed the channel, leave a follow. I know I only have a few videos so far, but you can expect a lot more of the same of what I have been doing. I believe I might have 1 or 2 different videos in the near future, but for the most part, I will be sticking to inventory reviews, perk breakdowns, and things of that nature, because I think there's a lot of people who just simply don't know that some of these perks that aren't necessarily meta are still good, and I think a lot of it is because they just don't know how they work. So hopefully I am providing you with some information and some use and some knowledge that maybe you didn't have before. So if I have, leave a like, leave a follow, leave a comment telling me what I told you this time that you didn't know before. With all that being said, thank you once again for coming and watching. Thank you for your time, and I will see you gamers next week on Tuesday for our Banshee review. Have a good day and a good weekend, everybody.